Hi, everyone. So, when I was doing a little bit of research on the videos that I recently posted about spiritual warfare, gang stalking, and targeted individuals, I was watching Adam's testimony, which is his channel is Jeremiah Cohen on YouTube. And I'm going to put the link to this specific video I'm going to be talking about in my description. So it'll be there so you can watch it yourself. So, in his testimony, and I don't believe I've watched this specific testimony before, he's talking about the Mandela Effect. So, let me give a little bit of a backstory on this. So, his first testimony that he did about his experience with gang stalking and targeting was, I believe, in 2017 or 18. It was pretty soon after he went through that experience. And he had a mask on because he didn't want people to recognize him because he was so traumatized by that experience, and he was still worried, the people were after him. I'm not really sure, but there was just so much fear, which is understandable after an experience like that going on with him. So he did have a mask on. He didn't say one thing I know for a fact about the Mandela Effect in that video, because I had known about the Mandela Effect when I watched it a couple years ago, and he didn't say anything about it. I thought, now you can't find it. He took it down, so as far as I know. So now I don't recognize this recent testimony he did. I think he put it on recently. Because if he had it on before and I had watched it, I would have, it would have stuck out at me when he was talking about the Mandela Effect. So it was interesting because I wanted to go back to find his testimony so I could try to relate to you guys as I was trying to explain gang stalking in my video from his perspective as well, or just get more information from Adam's perspective. And as I was watching his testimony, I came across something interesting I wanted to share with you guys. So, when he was in a psych ward, because that's where he ended up after weeks and weeks and weeks of being targeted and gang stalked, he ended up in a psych ward. Now, I've explained in my other videos, so has he, so has other people on the channels I've left links for underneath my videos on gang stalking, that we all believe this is strictly spiritual warfare coming from the demonic realm. It is not the government. So, from that perspective, I'm going to continue talking. So, at this point, Adam, he realizes that there is some kind of evil influence going on, for sure. He's been targeted and gang stalked for weeks or months, at this point. He's worn down mentally and psychologically. He's attempted to kill himself, because this is where the demons want you to get to the point where they've worn you down so much that you end up wanting to take your own life. And people at this point, this is called gang stalking, when, in some instances, when they're saying very strange things that kind of don't make sense, that you don't understand, but that they're saying it to you, they're targeting you specifically, and they're doing it in with a malicious intent behind it. He's aware of this the whole time. It started, it started a long time ago, it started on Facebook with him, I think, and then it goes into his workplace, and then, other things. It just keeps happening with people saying strange things. And now, as he looks back as a born again believer in Christ, he realizes that these were, demons speaking through people, saying all these strange, bizarre things. So I'll just give you an example. One of them says to him, and this is a demon speaking through somebody, "Be careful on your way home. I hear they like to travel by the wind." Woo! It's like, what the heck are you talking about? See, these are the weird things I say. It just kind of goes over your head. Like, but you know that they know what they're talking about, and there's something behind it. And then I think Adam questions him and says, "Well, what are you talking about?" And then he says, "Black helicopters." Okay. And we know from target individual testimony, black helicopters are involved a lot. So, he's in the psych ward. He has patients saying the same kinds of bizarre, strange things to him. He knows that there's this evil, malicious intent behind it. He doesn't know at the time it's really demons speaking through people, and this is the demonic realm attacking him. But there are full-on witches in there. They're drawing all kinds of occult symbols, talking about Freemasons, people talking about Freemasons, Aleister Crowley, Satanism. I mean, all these different people are talking about similar things that have to do with the occult and Satanism in this place. And he's just kind of like, what the heck is going on? So we know there's the demonic origins to it. So one of the patients, this is what I'm trying to get to. One of the patients says to him, "You'll probably find the Mandela Effect interesting now." So after I heard him say that, I was like, wow. And then I started to think, and this is kind of my interpretation of what this demon that is speaking through this inpatient was saying to Adam at the time. Because we know the Mandela Effect was going on back then, full on, in 2017, 18. I believe it was 2018. Excuse me, when all this happened to him. And I started to think that what that might mean. And I believe this demon is saying, you're going to find the Mandela Effect interesting now. Because based on, now that you know that we're real, we exist, the supernatural realm is real, the demonic realm is real, we're behind it all, we're manipulating you, we're controlling you, we're running the show. We know as believers in Christ, God is allowing it for whatever reasons. But the demons are, being allowed to do all this, and they know it. And so they're basically telling Adam, you're going to find the Mandela Effect interesting now. To me, that is a correlation between the Mandela Effect and the demonic realm. And we know, for those of us that have researched the Mandela Effect, a lot of us believe, including myself, because we don't really have any alternative beliefs, that the Mandela Effect originated with CERN. And we know who's behind CERN, what's behind CERN. I don't feel like getting into talking about CERN. For those of you that are listening and have no idea what I'm talking about, do your own research on CERN. Okay? In the truther community. So, and we know that that's all demonic. All the origins of it are straight from the pits of hell, literally. So, there's the correlation, guys, between what we've been talking about, which is the Mandela Effect, and the Bible changes specifically are directly from the supernatural realm, because they're supernatural changes, and they come from the enemy. They come from the demonic realm, especially when we see in which fashion the changes go. So for those of you that have no clue what I'm talking about, I have a video about the supernatural Bible changes and how those changes in the Bibles that are happening are specifically twisted in such a way to sound demonic, to sound anti-Jesus or anti-Christ. So for example, Jesus is now called a holy thing instead of a holy child. Jesus has breasts and wears a bra in Revelation. Okay, so twisting their transgender agenda. Two men are in one bed, glorifying homosexuality. Two women grind. Instead of grinding grain, it's just grind. Two women are grinding, glorifying homosexuality. I could go on and on. So we know that there's that satanic agenda behind the Bible changes. So, and as far as I'm concerned, the secular world as well, because we have the rainbow trees, the rainbow this, the rainbow that, the rainbow canyons, everything's rainbow, okay? And they're all about the transgender agenda, and homosexual agenda is all about the rainbow. And unicorns, and now unicorns are in the Bible. So it's the satanic Luciferian agenda. We know that. So all I'm trying to say in this video to make this point is that this demon speaking through this patient to Adam in a gang stalking, targeting individual testimony, which is really spiritual warfare, all leads back to the Mandela Effect, which this demon's talking about, which has its origins in the demonic. It's right there. So I thought this was interesting. I like to know what you guys have to say. If you can watch that video yourself, see if there's anything else you get out of it, or that's specifically what that demon was saying, because I'm not saying that is the only interpretation, according to Elizabeth. I'm open for different viewpoints, but definitely that has something to do with the demonic realm from what he said. So anyway, thanks for listening.